Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ray, that's Koji, and today, we're gonna look at the crazy OP-05 market in the first video of Market Watch in 2024. But before we get to the Market Watch video, let me tell you guys about today's giveaway. So for this episode of Market Watch, I will be giving away one copy of the OP-03 Alt Art Dawn Japanese version. It's this is gonna be great for those who are collecting in terms of just artworks. And honestly, if you play this in your locals, a lot of people don't really care if you use Japanese Dawn. So, it'll be a good way for you to use this. Obviously, if you're going to be playing any of the official regionals as well as treasure cups, you do need the English version. But for your locals, this should be good to go. So yeah, to be part of this giveaway, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. All right, now without further ado, let's go look at the crazy OP-05 prices. Alright guys, it's time for another episode of Market Watch. The first one, I think, dedicated just for OP-05. So yeah, first of all, I hope everyone had an amazing holidays. Alright, so let's check out the crazy One Piece TCG secondary market. For every single Market Watch, I always want to start out with the sealed products just to see how it is. Usually, the sealed products predicates a lot of the singles market. A high singles or sealed products usually means that there's not a lot available. So scarcity usually bumps up the price of singles. So let's see if it's reflected here as well. So first, we're gonna start out with the OG OP-01 box, and as you can see, the last month has just been up, all the way up to $491. That is USD. That is crazy. It was all the way down to, well, I guess it was not all the way down, but yeah, the prices for OP-01 just keeps going up. I don't think there's going to be any reprints coming soon, and if you have any of the blue bottom ones, well, that's at least double the price for sure. So yeah, that's absolutely crazy. Hopefully Bandai reprints some of the cards in the set, just because there's still a lot of staples there. And one of the ones that's definitely spiking in price is the Kid SR in OP-01. So yeah, that's crazy. All right, next let's go look at OP-02. OP-02 was actually interesting. It dipped in price. It was all the way down to 248, and then look at that sharp incline the last couple weeks or so, or just even 1 week, a week and a half, and then it's all the way up to $292 right now. And if you look at the latest sales, it's actually even more than that. It's been selling quite steadily at over 300 US dollars, and I won't be surprised if it's going to be close to Roman's Dawn price point. That's absolutely nuts. Next, let's go to OP-03. Yeah, for the longest time, OP-03 is relatively affordable compared to the first two sets, but as you can see, the last month or so, about I guess half a month, it spiked all the way up. I think it was the lowest at 154 US dollars, and it went all the way up to 190 US dollars. That's absolutely insane. I won't be surprised if this will just keep going up. That's nuts. Next, let's look at OP-04. For the longest time, the prices of this box was pretty low. As you can see, it went all the way down to 93 US dollars, as there were a lot of stocks. But yeah, look at it. It just keeps going up and up and up. And now it's valued at over 130 US dollars. Absolutely insane. And then let's go look at our current set. It's kind of went up and down, up and down, up and down. A lot of it is predicated on, I guess, the release. As you can see, there were a lot of release waves. People usually talk about, OP-05 having 2 to 3 waves. And I think you can see it a little bit here by having two dips, usually indicating a lot more of the products available to the public. So obviously the release, and then you can see the next wave after that. So yeah, it was all the way down to 154, and then yeah, as everyone else is waiting during the holidays for more sealed products available, it just keeps going ridiculously high, and now it's over 220 USD. Absolutely nuts. Hopefully Bandai gets more of these boxes available to everyone, because some of the single prices are absolutely insane for the set, and we will look at that later. And then let's quickly recap the sealed products by looking at the OP-06 prices. I think the pre-orders, it was like 114, and then it went all the way up now to 160 or near 160 USD. Yeah, I don't know. I think OP-05 is one of those unique sets just because of the numerous chases that people want. Manga, Luffy, the Oda Sensei card or side card, as well as the two other manga chases in that set. So we'll see what OP-06 will bring. Will it be similar to OP-04, where OP-04 was readily available and you saw the prices of the box during the release window go actually very, very low? Some of them were pretty close to MSRP or just a little bit under towards the end of the set. And I wonder if OP-06 will follow suit, just because there's really, you know, not that many chases aside from the manga Zoro, as well as the God packs. Although that's not even confirmed yet, but there are God packs in the Japanese release. So those are the two things that people are going to be chasing, and I don't know if that's enough to actually sustain the prices that we see now with the pre-release. It's close to 160 US dollars before release. So yeah, that'll be interesting to track for sure. All right. So whenever I do these market watches, I like to have it themed and be focused rather than looking at all of the cards and the entire market. So for this episode, I will just focus on OP-05, because I think this is going to be the first, I guess, opportunity for me to just look at OP-05 card prices. So we're going to do an in-depth look at where some of the cards stand, starting with obviously the chases of the set. Um, Starting with number one, the most expensive card and the hardest to pull, we have the Monkey D Manga Luffy. As you can see, the prices just keeps climbing, climbing, climbing. It was all the way down to 1,700 USD, and right now it's over 2,100 USD. And if you see some of the sold prices, it's actually even more than that. We've had some selling at over 2,800. That's three right here within the last couple days, few days or so. So yeah, absolutely insane. I believe the prices in the Japanese release right now, for manga, Gear 5 Luffy is 200 or 2,000 USD, and you can see right now it's blown way past that. A lot of it is just due to the shortage of available sealed stock. So that's why you see a lot of very, very, very inflated prices in some of these chase cards, starting with the most expensive one, with the Gear 5 Luffy. Number two, and definitely the second most rare card in the entire set, is the Oda Sensei sign card, the Luffy version. I personally pulled two of these. So yay me. One I pulled during my 1 year anniversary sealed event. So I pulled one in 6 packs, and the other one I pulled in just 6 boxes. So I've been really, really lucky. So let's go look at his price. His prices actually went down for a little bit. It was all the way up to over 2,100 or close to 2,200 US dollars, and then it went down as people, I guess, maybe realize that this card is not as rare compared to the Manga Luffy. As you can see, the inverse in rise in the price of the Gear 5 Manga Luffy, and then the decrease of price in the Oda Sensei card. So I think this price reflects a lot more in comparison to the Japanese market, where the Manga Luffy in the Japanese market is the most expensive card, and then number two is the Oda Sensei card. So yeah, so right now it looks like it's holding steady at just over 1,900 USD, and as you can see in the sold prices, it's a little bit higher than that. With I guess the highest one is just nearly 2,200 US dollars. So still an amazing chase card for everyone to try to get. I believe this is going to be the second most expensive cards in any of the sets, not counting the serialized cards, as well as like the cards that you win from participating on regionals. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Just over $2,000, absolutely nuts. It'll be interesting to see if this prices increase or decrease as the time goes on. Um, I don't think there's going to be a perpetual printing of OP-05, but hopefully I'm wrong with that, because more sealed products for everyone is a good thing. All right, next, let's go look at the next, I guess, chase card in the set. We have the Law Manga card, or the Manga Law. As you can see, it was actually down a little bit with a low of just over 638 US dollars. And as you can see, slowly spiked up. And now it's holding steady at just over 770 US dollars. Obviously, that's the market price here, but as you can see, the recent sales is just exploding again. It's actually getting pretty close to the Oda Sensei card. Um, a lot of it might be just the rarity of actually pulling the manga rare that you want. I think to pull a manga cards every 2.5 to 3 cases, and then to pull an Oda Sensei card is maybe every 4.5, maybe 4 to 4.5 cases to 5. But to get the manga that you need, it's a little bit harder. So that's why you can see the bump in prices with that one. And then the last manga chase, we have Kid. And as you can see, Kid's price, it was all the way down to 500 US dollars, then slowly went up and holding steady at just under 750 US dollars. And as you can see, the sold prices the last few days is actually more than that. And all 4 chases are over 1,000 US dollars. Absolutely insane. We'll see what it looks like in a month from now. Hopefully by then, more sealed products are going to be available. So we'll track it and see if these prices went up or went down. All right, next, let's go look at the second, or I guess the second set of the Raiders cards in OP-05, which are the SPs, or the special art cards. So these cards are the reprint of already printed cards with new artwork for OP-05, starting with the most expensive card in OP-05, not counting the manga chases. We have Nami. Not surprised. I think what helped with the bump in price is the reversal of the bannings and restrictions from OP, or the end of OP-04. So yeah, you can see Nami's price. It was actually all the way down to just under 119 US dollars, and then spiking all the way up and settling at just over 185 US dollars. And if you look at the sealed or recently sold prices, it's actually went all the way up to over 235 US dollars. That is absolutely insane for a card in the current set. These are like OP-01 prices. So we will see, as more sealed products flood the market, will this price hold? We have our second one. Second most expensive SP is Yamato. Yeah, so Yamato, this is the OP-01 reprint. I guess not reprint, but I guess it's a reprint. But yeah, this is the secret rare in OP-01. As you can see, I think this card is getting a little bit more viable in some of the decks. I don't know if Corazon uses it, but you can see the prices. It was all the way down to 61 US dollars towards the release, and then it slowly went up and it's holding steady at just over 94 US dollars. Recently sold, it went all the way up to nearly 97 US dollars. Number three, and one of the more meta decks for OP-05, we have NLSP. So this is, I guess, a special reprint of the card found in the set. So it's kind of interesting that way. Kind of weird because we already have an NL alt art, but I guess we have an NL alt art with the special art NL. Yeah, it was all the way down to 50, nearly or under 52 US dollars, then slowly go up and holding steady at just over 93 US dollars. Recently sold is actually a little bit lower than that. Recently sold is just about 88 US dollars. So that's pretty cool. Next, we have Uda. So Uda, I believe this is going to be the secret rare in OP-02. Um, I don't know how viable this card is in Purple Luffy, but might get played, or maybe there's a lot more Uda stands in the north, or I guess English region than I thought. I honestly thought this card will not be that popular or expensive, just because the English, I guess, market do not really gravitate towards Uda. But yeah, the price in the initial release was all the way down to 38 US dollars, and then slowly go up, and it's holding steady right now at 84 US dollars. Recent sales are just under that at about 82 US dollars. Next, we have Kaido. So similar to Enel, this is going to be no, I guess no. This is going to be a reprint of OP-04. It's not the OP-05 version of Kaido. And yeah, the the price of this SP is kind of interesting. It was holding pretty low, with a low of just over 32 US dollars, and then slowly went up, and then it looks like it's holding steady at just over 47 US dollars. Looks absolutely gorgeous though. And then the last SP in the set, we have Rob Lucci, and looks like Rob Lucci hasn't seen the spike as any of the other SPs out there. Maybe just because of playability. This is definitely the least playable, I believe, in any of the SP cards out there, and that might reflect the low price relatively to the other SPs. So it looks like the Rob Lucci SP is holding steady at just over 37 US dollars, and which is about in line to the recent sales. Yeah, and if you do not know, you are guaranteed 2 SPs per cases, and that's why some of the SP prices are absolutely bonkers, just because it's very hard to pull the SP card that you want. If you want Nami, you might have to buy multiple cases for you to even get one. I don't have one. Hopefully I can get one. That'd be pretty dope. All right, before we get to the leader alt arts, I forgot to mention that there's another SP. It's not really SP, it's more like a reprint, just literally a reprint of a previously released card. But we have the regular Luffy card. This is going to be the reprint of the starter deck, Rush Luffy. As you can see, the price is holding steady. There's a little spike towards the end, but it looks like it's holding now at just over 32 US dollars. And it looks like the sold prices is a little bit higher, actually quite a bit higher, with recent sales having over 35 US dollars. So that's pretty good. If you do not know, you are guaranteed 2 of these regular Luffys in a case. So definitely there are going to be more of these cards in compared to the SPs, just because you are guaranteed 2 per cases, 2 cards per case. So yeah, still an amazing looking card, and yeah, it looks like the price went up a little bit. All right, next let's go look at the leader alt art, starting with the most expensive and some say the best deck in the format. We have the Sakazuki leader alt art. It looks like the price of this leaders actually went down, or maybe just I guess holding at this price. But yeah, it looks like the Sakazuki leader alt art is holding steady at just over 113 US dollars. Recent sales is a little bit above that, just over 119 US dollars, which is not bad. Next, we have Purple Luffy, the the trifecta new leaders in OP-05. Um, it looks like the price is going down a little bit more than the Sakazuki. So it looks like it had a high of just over 114 US dollars, and it looks like it's going down a little bit, and it's currently just over 99 US dollars. Recent sales is just about there, about 99 to 100 US dollars. Next, to complete the trifecta, we have the NL leader alt art. As you can see, there was actually a little spike here. I think a reason for this is just that NL was the winner of one of the, I guess, first regionals. I don't remember where it was. It might be in Europe, but NL won one of the most recent regionals. I think in-person regionals. So maybe that caused the spike a little bit. Just more people became NL truthers, and yeah, it looks like it's holding steady now, just over 80 US dollars. Recent sold is around there as well. Next, and I think is the most fun new leader in the set. We have Bello Betty, leader alt art. It was actually down all the way down to 43 US dollars, and then there was like a huge spike. And then it was all the way up to just over 69 US dollars, and it looks like it's just holding steady now, just over 51 US dollars. Recent sold is about that, so pretty nice price. Next, we have Sabo. So Sabo, unfortunately, is not really a meta. I mean, you can play it in your locals, but I don't think you're gonna be placing high. But what do I know? But yeah, unless this deck becomes more popular, I think it'll hold the current price that it has, which is about around 39 US dollars. Recent sold is about 38. And then the least expensive deck out there, or leader out there, we have Don Quixote Rocinante. But yeah, Corazon, it looks like it had a high of just over 37 US dollars, and it looks like it is holding steady now at just over 36 US dollars. Recent sold is similar to Sabo, which is about 38 US dollar. All right, next, let's go quickly look at the character alt art prices, starting with the most expensive character alt art in the set. We have Rebecca alt art. Obviously, this card is one of the staples and why Sakazuki is the best deck in the format, and obviously this card's price reflect that. It was actually all the way down to 42 US dollars at one time, but it has slowly increased, and it looks like it is holding steady now at just over 58 US dollars. Next, we have Luffy Gear 5 alt art. So this is the alt art of the secret rare. I think a lot of the price of this card, I don't know how viable it is. I don't think a lot of purple Luffy places. However, it's Luffy, it's Gear 5. The artwork looks absolutely dope. And yeah, I think a lot of its value is because of that. And yeah, it looks like the price, it was all the way up to 66 US dollars, and it looks like it is about 54 US dollars right now. Recent sold is about same. Next, we have Just Like Rebecca, another staple of the Sakazuki um, leader, or I guess Dex. It was actually all the way up to just over 40 or 54 US dollars, and looks like it's holding steady now at just over 41 US dollars. Recent sold is about the same. Next, we have Kaido Secret Rare alt art. This one's very surprising. I don't know if this is a staple in any blue decks. Someone might correct me. I haven't seen this. I don't think it's played in Sakazuki, so I don't know what other decks will use this one, but maybe Queen. I don't know. But yeah, it definitely has seen an increase in price the last, I guess, few weeks or so. It was all the way down to just under or over 18 US dollars, and rose all the way up to just over 36 US dollars, uh, double the price in just under a month, which is nuts. Next, we have Kid. So the Kid alt art is a staple in Purple Luffy decks. Um, I don't, yeah, I don't know if you run four of these, but you know, that's why this card's value is still pretty high. It was all the way up to 50 US dollars, and it looks like it is holding steady at just over 33 US dollars. Recently sold is about the same. Next, and very surprising to me, we have Baby 5 Alt Art. Uh, I don't know which deck uses this one. Uh, Maybe Rocinante. Um, Maybe there's other green decks out there that's very popular that I do not know about the uses Baby 5. However, I'm definitely surprised me. Definitely one of the alt art prices that definitely stood out to me when I first saw it. So yeah, it was all the way down to just over 18 US dollars, and then now it nearly doubled in price at just over 30 US dollars. Recently sold is about that. Next, we have Borsalino Alt Art. Whoa, look at that spike in price. Absolutely nuts. It was all the way down to just over 23 US dollars, and within a few days it looks like it spiked all the way up to just over 29 US dollars. And if you look at the sold, it's even more than that. There are this card is actually selling at over 35 US dollars. Absolutely insane. um I'm not sure which deck. I don't know if Sakazuki, maybe Sakazuki uses Borsalino, but yeah. Next we have Zoro Juro. So Zoro is definitely going to be a staple in a lot of purple ramp decks. Yeah, it looks like it was all the way down to just over 25 US dollars. It went up a little bit to 36, and then it's like it's slowly going down and it's holding steady at just over 25 US dollars. Recently sold is about the same. Next we have Bello Betty. Bello Betty, pretty interesting. It looks like everyone went into a Bello Betty train and then slowly went down. It had a high of just over 28 US dollars, and it looks like it's holding steady right now at just over 23. Recently sold, it's a little bit higher. We had some sold for over 26 US dollars. Next, we have NL. So this card is obviously one of the staples in NL leader decks. He went all the way down to just over 16 US dollars, and there was a spike similar to the leader, with a high of 25 US dollars, and slowly going down and holding steady right now at just over 21 US dollars. It'll be interesting to see if NL becomes very popular, if this alt art will go up as well. Next, we have Koala. Same thing with Bello Betty. Pretty interesting trajectory. Looks like the Bello Betty stocks was high in the beginning and then slowly waned a little bit towards the end of the first month. It had a high of just over 25 US dollars, and looks like it's holding steady now at just over 21 US dollars. Next, we have Gidatsu, another staple of NL cards or NL decks, and did not really see the bump that we saw in some of the NL cards. It looks like it's holding steady at just over 19 US dollars. Next, we have Ulti. Ulti looks like he has a very, very slow growth, a little bit, if not stagnant pattern in the first month, and it looks like it's holding steady now just over 19 US dollars. Next, we have Mancherry. So Mancherry is played in Sakazuki decks, but hasn't seen the, I guess, uptick in some of the other staples in the deck like Rabuchi or Rebecca. And it looks like the prices for this card is holding steady at just over 17 US dollars. Next, we have Law. So Law is another, I guess, I was gonna say a staple for Purple Luffy, but I don't think so. Artwork looks amazing as well. So yeah, it looks like it's holding steady at just over 17 US dollars. Next, we have X Drake. X Drake is pretty interesting. It was all the way down to just over 7 US dollars, and it looks like it's ramping up nearly double the price, just over 13 US dollars. And then we have the last two cards in the set. We have Sabo Alt Art. It was all the way down to 7 US dollars, and he had a little bit of a bump on the last week or so. It's just right now it's just over 8 US dollars. And then last but not the least, we have Pika. And yeah, Pika had a little bit of bump in the beginning. It was actually all the way up to 10 US dollars. It looks like it's holding steady now at just over 6 US dollar. All right, next, let's go quickly look at the secret rare prices, starting with the Gear 5 secret rare Luffy. I believe OP-05 is one. I guess it's been a set since probably OP-02 or maybe even OP-01, where we've had two pretty good value secret rares out of the box. Luffy is a little bit more expensive than Kaido, but both are holding steady in the prices. So let's go look at Luffy first. So it looks like Luffy started out pretty strong, and then there's a huge dip. And then it looks like currently it is holding steady at just over 17 US dollars, which is pretty good compared to OP-04 secret rares, where are stuck at less than 5 US dollars. And then next we have Kaido secret rare, and this one's the opposite or the inverse of Luffy, where Luffy was very strong price wise and then went down. And it looks like Kaido started out pretty low on the release, and then recently within the last week or so it has been a spike, and looks like it is holding at just under 16 US dollars, which is great. I think it adds a little bit to the value of the box, the scarcity of it, and that a lot of the cards in the set are, I would say, artificially inflated a little bit just because of the scarcity of the sealed products. We will see what the prices look like when more sealed products becomes available when Wave 2 or Wave 3 releases. Personally, for me, I'm still waiting for Wave 2 up here in Canada. They told me it's going to be available sometime next year. I'm hearing maybe late January. So we will see the prices in the next episode. All right, let's go end this episode of Market Watch by looking at the SR prices for OP-05, starting with the most expensive one with Usis Captain Kid, which is surprising to me just because I would have thought Sakazuki staple SRs will be the most expensive, but it seems that Kid is reigning supreme in terms of price. It actually went down slowly through the entire month with a height of over 14 US dollars, but it looks like it's holding steady now at just over 7 US dollars. Recent sold is about that price. Next, let's have we have Rebecca. No brainer in terms of being a staple in all Sakazuki decks that many herald as the best deck in the format. So I'm not surprised that the price is holding pretty high. It actually went all the way up to just over 11 US dollars. It looks like it's holding steady now at just over $5, which is nice. Next, we have the other staple of Sakazuki decks as an SR card. We have Rob Lucci. The Rob Lucci definitely did not see the spike up in price in the beginning like Rebecca or Kid, but it looks like it is holding quite steady at just over $2 right now. Next, we have Enel. Yeah, pretty curious. It looks like it's just holding pretty steady right now at $2 flat. It looks like recently sold. It's a little bit higher. This one's at nearly $3. It looks like recent or the lowest in TCG player, over $2, and other ones over $3. So maybe there will be a spike in this price in the next month. Honestly, depends. It depends on how much sealed products will flood the market. Next, we have Koala. Bello Betty leaders or players unite. Obviously, this is going to be a staple in Bello Betty decks, and it's one of those noob friendly decks that a lot of people will gravitate to because it's going to be one of the cheaper ones to use in this format. And honestly, depending on you roll, you can literally beat any deck with a Bello Betty. So yeah, it looks like it's just holding steady, and currently it's just under $2 US. Next we have Blue Borsalino. Wow, I can't talk. So yeah, it looks like similar to Koala as well as Enel, just holding a very flat price. And right now it's just under $2 US. Next we have Ulti, very similar, very cheap, just over $1.50. Next, we have Law, which is interesting. Just the difference between, or I guess, Law is not really used in Purple Luffy, but yeah. So it looks like it's just over $1 for Law. It'll be interesting to see if there's going to be a new leader or if they release more hard pirates out there in future sets that make use of this card, kind of like Polly did in OP-03. And I won't be surprised when that happens. This card will increase in price. Next, we have Zoro Juro. Oh, this is actually not even an SR. Let's go put that in the back. Let's go look at Sabo next. All right, so Sabo, same thing, very flat. Why this one's a little bit cheaper than Koala is just because this is not a 4 of in Bello Betty decks. I honestly don't think it's that good unless you play in a meta that has a lot of weenies, aka Zoros, or law players. Then maybe play 2 of Sabo. Anything more than that, I think, is too bricky. Even though you can discard him for the leader effects. Yeah. And then the cheapest one for sure is Pika. Yeah. Pika is the cheapest character alt art and is the cheapest SR as well. And it looks like it's currently just over 33 cents. Yeah, unless they do something drastically, introduce a new leader in the future, I think it'll be hard to see how this I guess SR, increase in price. All right, for the final part of my video, I just want to highlight what I see is um, a diamond in the rough in terms of the set, a hidden gem, so to speak. So for this one, I was gonna talk about Zorojuro, but I think everyone knows about Zorojuro. Very good value. It's just over $1. The one I actually want to highlight is actually Rocinante, Don Quixote, Rocinante rare. So yeah, one thing that's really really interesting with this one is that if there are more popularity of Rocinante decks, I can see this price going up. As you can see, it's slowly going up in terms of trend. It's holding steady now at 60 cents. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna slowly go up. The only available one for TCG is 75 cents. So, maybe this will be something to keep in mind or to note in the next month. Maybe this is going to be a hidden gem that will go up over $1 in the next few weeks or so. And then maybe it will be a good time for you to sell just because, everyone knows Zorojuro is a good card and is going to be a little bit of expensive in terms of getting a playset of rare, and a lot of people will probably not think that Rocinante will have value, but it seems like it's one of those rares that actually have a little bit of value out there in the secondary market. All right, guys, that is another episode of Market Watch. I hope it was informative to you guys and you learned something about the nature or the status of the OP-05 secondary market. As a reminder, the giveaway for this episode is the Japanese OP-03 Alt Art Dawn. And if you want to be part of that giveaway, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. As always, I hope everyone will have amazing rest of the week, and I'll see you guys later. Cheers.